So we are at that time when we begin to send cold mails to prospective supervisors, PIs, and professors that may have one or more research opportunities, master's, PhD, or postdoctoral positions in their research group or labs. And one way you can assess them, one way you can get these positions or even inquire about these positions is using a cold mail. And there are plenty things online, plenty notions online on what constitute a great cold mail. And perhaps you have used a number of templates to draft a cold mail. Just before you send out that cold mail, please watch this video to an end because a number of persons send out cold mails and the cold mails are never replied. Number of persons send out cold mails to professors and the professors just hit the delete button and immediately it is sent to the dustbin. And some other persons send out cold mails and the cold mails get reply. And this reply leads to finding a fully funded master's or PhD positions in the professor's lab. In this video, I want to teach you, I want to show you what constitutes a great cold mail. Now, you don't need to copy this. You just need to learn what makes a great cold mail and go out there and begin to put out your own cold mail. I will take you through the different parts of what constitutes a great cold mail, the length of words you should have in your cold mail, what makes a great title, what makes a great call to action, the different paragraphs that should be in your cold mail if you want the professor, the PI, or the supervisor to get you a reply. I'll also tell you some of the preliminary things, some of the ab initial things you would need to put together, do before you begin to write your code mail. And finally, I would tell you what are the things you need to do in your inbox that makes your cold mail very, very professional. Remember that your goal is to get the attention of the PI, of the professor, and to get his attention, you must be sending something very enticing. Remember that the cold mail also is a phishing mail, a mail you are sending to someone you have not met before. And so you want to have a good first impression because if your first impression is not wonderful, it's not beautiful, you would most likely not get a reply out of that cold mail. And finally, don't forget also that the aim of the cold mail is to get a reply that would lead to getting a master's acceptance, getting a PhD acceptance, or getting a postdoctoral position in the lab of a professor. So you want to put all of these goals together in drafting what you want to put out there to the professor. Now, before we go right in, don't forget that in this channel, I share with you all of the graduate school tips. I mean, everything you need to win a fully funded master's, PhD, or postdoctoral position. And so, because you want to harvest this information, because you want to learn all the tips, all the lessons, all the tutorials there are to begin on your own, find, apply, and win fully funded positions, you want to subscribe to this channel. You want to put on the bell so that next time I share something wonderful, you are about the first person to be reached. You also want to share this video so that other graduate school hopefuls get to learn. Yes, this is a learning curve, and I want to be that guy, that lady who is learning all the things there are to win a fully funded position. Now, let's dive right in. First, before you do any of these things you are seeing in my inbox, there are a number of things I have done before doing this. One, I have gone in search of this Professor Barbender. I have found the name of his professor or of his university. I found the name of his specific research group, Quantum Information Group. I have found that. I have also digged up some of his previous students and see the technique they use in their lab, because in the course of my mail, I would mention it. I would mention some of the things I have observed from his students, that is the students presently in his lab, and maybe even past students. And so I've done a whole lot of research about this professor. I have gotten the name of his group, I've gotten his full name, I've gotten the university where he is, and I've found some of his research work. And note, I have not only just read his research work to put them into my mail, I have understood them and even found a future direction for the mails he has put out, or for the research work he has put out rather. So I have coined some future directions. Maybe I've even read some of his works and see some of the future directions he has suggested, and I'm putting up those future directions in my cold mail. So these are all the things I have done preliminarily before I get here. And while I'm here, I have set the email signature on my inbox, so that beyond just putting my name there, I have shown my department, my institution of affiliation, and some of my research interests on my mail signature. Now, I have also shared how to create an email signature. I will drop the link of that video of how you create an email signature down in the comment section of this video. So just want to click that and learn how to create something like this as an email signature. Now also, I have set the fonting, the font of my mail to readable font, not some jaga jaga kind of font or font that are not legible. So somewhere here you could set the kind of font that is in your email box. So I have set a very good font, and all of that is now set. Now, having set out all of this, I also have the professor's email and I've attached it here. The next thing that becomes very important is the title of my email. Now look up here. When you send a mail, it is the title that first pops up. I want to make this title very catchy. I want to make this title inviting. I want to make this title magnetic, if you like, so that nobody sees the title and wants to delete it. So you want to craft this very well. What constitutes a great title, therefore? It's a mention of the kind of study you're looking for and your specific interest. Interest to join your group for PhD studies. If it was a master studies, put it down there. In what? In photonics and optical communication. So you want to specifically mention your research interest. This is very important. Then just put interested in your group, interested to join your group. What for what? What are you joining his group for, or a group for? You want to specifically mention why you want to join that group and for what purpose you are joining this professor's group. Very important. Next, you don't just say, dear Sama. It's the salutation. The opening salutation is not just dear sir or Sama, because if you say Sama, it means you do not know if this person is a man or a woman. And so you want to do your research and pick out the person's surname. And so in addressing the person, you're going to say, dear Dr. Babender, or dear Professor Babanda. You want to be sure that you're putting the person's surname correctly. It's a very important part of sending out a cold mail. And when you are done with that, you get to your first paragraph. Now, before I get into that, a very good cold mail should have about 4 paragraphs. That's what makes a good cold mail. 4 paragraphs. Opening paragraph, aligning interest, study of the interest, and a call to action, and you close. So in the opening paragraph, that is where you want to tell the professor who you are, where you're coming from, and what you seek. 3 things: who you are, where you're coming from, and what you seek. That is the content of your first paragraph. I hope this email finds you well. A salutation. My name is ... I'm a BSc graduate of the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, with interest in this. This introduces you. Okay, that tells who you are, and you want to show that you don't have orthographical errors or spelling errors. So once you have your introduction, next is what you seek. I am writing to express my interest in joining your group in quantum information group for PhD studies in photonics, optical communication at the University of Santa Cruz. You want to mention that properly. So your first paragraph tells who you are, where you're coming from, what you seek. Once you're able to put that out, you have created the first paragraph correctly. The next paragraph is your aligning interest. Now, many young persons make mistakes at this point. You quickly just copy a one or more research work from the professor's work and say, oh, I studied your work and I saw this work, and you're unable to diffuse the work, interpret the work, comprehend the work, and tell possible future directions of the work and how you come into that work. Please, this is not where you begin to tell us that, oh, from my BSc study where I studied XYZ, I have had research. That is not important to this professor. He's not so interested about what you've studied, but he's interested about how you comprehend the work he or she is doing in his lab. And so this is where you show your level of comprehension, your level of understanding of what the professor does in his research group. And so, yeah, he said, I have followed your research in optical communication systems and photonic devices, particularly your work on high capacity network using advanced modulation, and find your trust riveting and innovative for quantum communication technologies. From the insights gathered from your work, I believe that the application of machine learning and deep learning techniques would open up new horizons of the possibilities in secured communication using four things. The possibility of contributing to this new horizon in your lab is what drives my interest in seeking your guidance and joining your group. Very, very pointed, very, very innovative, very, very interesting. In fact, nobody reads this and who want to know, oh, how do you want to apply machine learning, deep learning technique to open up new horizons in secured communication? Everybody wants to know that. And so you have not just mentioned the professor's work. You have given an insight to the future directions of this work and how you wish to come in, how you come in into this interest and what will be your contribution. This is very important. Every PI out there, every professor out there is looking for who would be able to do this in their research group. Now, beyond that, beyond just your understanding of his group, there's something else. Is interpersonal relationship or interpersonal relationship is very important. And your style of supervision of doctoral students is also enticing. The ease with which past students of your group blend computational, theoretical, and experimental concepts to unravel new ideas and direction is novel. I am confident that my skills in numerical simulation, experimental design, and Python programming, and my passion for exploring novel photonic materials and devices will allow me to contribute meaningfully to your group. Now, within that next paragraph, you discuss your contribution, what you bring in. Yes, everybody wants to know that you bring in something. You're not coming there as some empty duns. You have something in stock. You have some ability. You have some experiences. You have some passion that will drive what the research group is doing. This is where you state it. And that is your third paragraph, opening paragraph, understanding of the research group, what you bring in, the specific dimension, paradigm you bring to the group. And the fourth paragraph is where you state the things you have attached. I have attached my CV, always very important, always attach your CV. My brief research statement for your references. I'll be grateful for opportunity to, this is where you have the attachment and the call to action. Some of the things you have attached and, oh, you want to tell the professor, I am open to discuss further, to discuss how your research work aligns with mine. And of course, I want to thank them for their time because it takes so much good time to want to read all of this. And notice that all of this has not exceeded 200 words. Yes, the word count on this is about 190. You don't want to write an essay of 500 words or 1,000 words. Nobody has the time to read that. And of course, your signature, it's very important, very important. And when you've done all of this and you've checked all the grammatical error, you can now click on send. And that is a very strong code email. And I have just shared something very important to you. Don't copy this, but learn how to use this and craft your own. Share this video, like this video, and subscribe to this channel for more.